Arrived at the Kit Carson Museum and Home, and this is the courtyard, this adobe dwelling, and you can see it looks pretty old, and this was his home since the 1890s. So we're going to go inside and take a look. And also an Horno, and an Horno was actually brought to the Pueblo Indians and natives by the Spaniards, the conquistadores, and many of the women on the Pueblo to this day continue using this oven to bake their breads and their fruit pies. And then this, of course, the strand of dried chilies is called arista, and you will find them throughout northern New Mexico. So we're going to take a step back into history.
We're standing in the Kit Carson house in Taos, New Mexico. This house was occupied by Kit and his wife Josefa, his third wife, for about 40 years. My name is C.J. Law. I'm the director of the Kit Carson Home Museum, and we're going to give you some idea of who Kit Carson was. As a young man, he ran away from an apprenticeship in Franklin, Missouri. His employer offered a reward for his return, 1 penny, which was not an indicator of Kit's worth to the world or to history. Kit was a fur trapper, mountain man, a guide, a hunter, an Indian agent, a soldier, a diplomat, and a friend to most all he encountered. He was recently compared with others like Daniel Boone, Davy Crockett, Wild Bill Cody, and said to be at the top of that list in terms of his contribution to history and the development of the West. Basically, Kit was a mountain man when he arrived in New Mexico. By that I mean that he joined expeditions who set out trapping beaver and traveled all over the West as a beaver trapper, and did that essentially until the mid 1840s, when beaver trapping was no longer economically feasible. Fashion changed, and expensive hats were no longer made from beaver fur but from silk. The top gun in the case is a muzzle-loading shotgun. We think it's a 3-gauge, which would have made it considerably bigger, for example, than the traditional 12-gauge shotguns today. The top gun was his. The top shotgun is reported to have been Kit's. This is the kitchen of the original Carson house here in Taos. Cooking, caring for a family is a very difficult thing back in the day. A lot of the cooking, for example, in summertime, as we're in now, took place outside to prevent adding a good deal of extra heat to the house. Some of the things that were used in cooking are very different than we're used to now. This, for example, is a piece of a cone of cane sugar, and this wooden box is actually a butter mold that would have been used to make a block of butter after the butter was churned.
You'll want to step into their gift shop, where they have a very nice selection of authentic native handcrafts and jewelry from some of the pueblos in the area. I see that they also have Kachina dolls, and an excellent suggestion of books that are more related to historic topics. And let's see what else. We've got some weavings over here. They look like they're Navajo weavings. So this is a great place to come. Very family oriented. The kids will get a good sense of history of the days of the West.